KFJZ. We continue with 90 Minutes with Bread with our special guest, David Gates.
There's a reason for the life that you live, and there's a pleasing that I know you can give. And I've been craving the love you've been saving, so baby, won't you give it to me? You're telling me no, no, no. You don't let your love go. I'm telling you yes, yes, yes. You really ought to be getting some happiness. I've made a motion and it's out on the floor, and it's a notion that I'd love to explore. 'Cause I've been tasting the love you've been wasting, so baby, won't you give it to me? You're telling me no, no, no. You don't wanna let your love go. I'm telling you yes, yes, yes. You really ought to be getting some happiness. You're a lady, and I'm here in the palm of your hand. Such a lady, how much more do you think I can stand? You're telling me no, no, no. You don't wanna let your love go. I'm telling you yeah, yeah, yeah. You really ought to be getting some happiness. You're telling me no, no, no. You don't wanna let your love go. I'm telling you yes, yes, yes.
January of 1971, he did a song called Let Your Love Go. And David, I remember being on the air in Detroit at the time, playing that song and getting requests, coming in on the telephones. You ever get tired, though, of doing those songs when you're on tour? You're doing, all of your hits and so on.
No, I'll tell you what we do on that. We try to mix it up because we have a number of songs we can do. We must have 50, 60, 70 songs now. And we'll vary it from night to night. We try to give some consistency, If and Make It With You, and some of the songs that are really very, very popular. But some of the other singles and so forth, we'll switch those around. That way we keep fresh on them. Maybe one night we'll do Let Your Love Go, like you mentioned, or maybe the next night we'll do Mother Freedom instead. And just keep mixing it up, and this way you don't get too tired of it.
You're starting to do a lot of new things lately, I've noticed, in the new album. Synthesizer on, excuse me, Change of Heart.
That had an interesting intro on it, too. A little seaside setting. I don't know, you get a lot of ideas when you're in the studio, things you'd like to try, and some work, some don't. But if you don't try anything, you never know. And that's a spot where we stuck our neck out and said, hey, let's just try putting... Jimmy and I were sitting out in the studio when that happened. We were getting ready to start the song right in the beginning where the vocal comes in. And we just started playing around. I played some chords, and he was playing a little bit of a lead line on top of it on a 12-string. I said, hey, that's kind of pretty. I wonder if we could do that and lead into Change of Heart, because we don't really have a good intro for Change of Heart. So we recorded it, and then it suggested maybe some waves and seagulls and stuff like that. So we put it on there, and I really like it. But like I say, if you don't try some of those things, to reach out, stretch out a little bit, you're never going to improve.
Everyone's thinking when he comes home, he'll be taking you back from me. But nobody knows just how deep our love goes, and he'll never take you from me. Now I know that you never meant to cheat, and I never meant to steal. But you only forget when there's better yet, and I know that's how we both feel. It's a change of heart. Look out for I knew the night that your tears were falling, what you were going through. You knew it'd be hell, but you had to tell them now it would be me and you. It's a change of heart, worked out for the best. When you change your heart, save yourself and forget all the rest. Is this man's game?
Who sings lead on this?
Jimmy sings.
This is
lead
Jimmy
on that.
singing.
Yeah, I wrote the song. He and I wrote the song together, and we actually both sang it. There's one. He's got his version and my version, and we liked his a little bit better. We do that once in a while. We'll each try singing lead on a song, and whoever's interpretation and voice seems to fit best, and we end up going with that. But I did all the harmony on Change Your Heart, and Jim does the lead.
You do a lot of the producing too. I mean, that's that's a whole different thing, of course.
Yeah, I get a big kick out of that, because that's where I got my start in the record business. I kind of came at things in backwards. I started with studio musician producing and arranging, and then went to artist later. But I've had a lot of experience at it, and I really get a lot of satisfaction in constructing a record from the ground up. And fortunately, I've got good people to work with, good musicians and good singers and good songs. And that's really what makes the producer's job easy, is if you've got something pretty good to start with, and it's just a matter of guiding and directing it. And many times, the hardest thing is to make sure you don't overproduce or put too many instruments on a good song, because it tends to detract from what you're trying to tell people. And no matter how embellished and grand your track is, people are still listening to the singer and the song. And the track is more for musicians and people that appreciate maybe guitar work and so forth. But if the song's not there and you don't have somebody really singing it, that record's not gonna happen.
That brings me to If, which I think is a very good example of what you're saying. It's a very simple song, really. And,
yes, it is.
But it's the way you put it together that I think that has really made it successful.
Well, we took If, and I sang it with just a guitar, an acoustic guitar, added bass. There was no place to put drums on it. We ended up putting some strings, and then we needed a little color instrument, something to kind of tie it together. And we took a Gibson electric guitar, no endorsement intended, just telling it like it is, and ran it through 2 oscillators and a Moog synthesizer. And that's what gives that little interesting
waterfall effect.
Sort of a tremolo effect on the guitar. And then that's basically all that's on the record. You're talking about 3 instruments, strings, and voice. But the song carries the record. It's not necessary to put a lot of stuff in it. It would only destroy it.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? The words will never show the you I've come to know. If a face could launch 1,000 ships, then where am I to go? There's no one home but you.
simply fly away.
What do you do when you're not singing or performing? What do you like to do best?
Oh, I got a lot of things. So many diversions, it's hard to get to work sometimes. I have done a lot of sailing, Dave. I have a sailboat, and I've been sailing here on the California coast 7 or 8 years now. And I sailed to Hawaii a year ago last summer. And
Wow.
I have a little ranch up in the northern part of California, and I like to go up there and horseback riding and things like that, hunting and fishing, and I really like the outdoors. And so after being cooped up in the studios, let's say, working quite a bit, first thing I do is just head outside and water skiing or, whatever's around. I really enjoy all of it. I'm game for just about anything. I'm taking some flying lessons, and if I can stay off the side of the mountain in that plane, I'll be in good shape.
We have a very nice and very warm and very special guest today here on 90 Minutes with Brad, David Gates. This is Dave Prince, and there's more to come in just a moment.